Okay, let's get started on this. Part 10, Cisco Kid Conservation. Take that first part here, put it here. Let's zoom out a little bit. And yes, I'm still using the same puppy pad. I haven't changed it. It's still absorbent, so no need to change. So that's that piece of it. And we have this piece, which goes right about like that. I have a small piece here. It goes here. And then I have the corner piece, which goes up there. I'm not too concerned with getting them exact, as long as they're close. But I do want them to be even. So we'll take my, I'm going to have to bring that down just a tiny bit, like that. That's sitting on a piece of Kollecting. Now I'll put another piece of Kollecting down. A little bit crooked because of the way it's sitting. And now we're going to spray it with our soap and water mixture. I'm taking this very light because I'm not really trying to get the soap out of it. I'm trying to actually get the soap into the comic. I got a spot here that doesn't have any on it, so we just spray the hell out of it. That was water I just sprayed it with, which was not what I wanted to do, but you know, stuff happens. I grabbed the wrong bottle. Now this is basically going to be the same way that I did the wraps. Once I get the soap on there that I like the way I like it, and I know it's going to stick to the Kollecting pretty good, I'll flip it over and I'll do the front side. Then I'll rinse it off. I will put it in a bath of calcium hydroxide, and then I'm going to do a leaf casting down the center and then around here, and I'll put a little bit of methyl cellulose there, and I'm going to do this corner over here and this corner over here. These corners, yeah, I'll do this corner up here too, just to get it, just to make it stick in, and then I'll do each of the corners and try to get it nice. I don't know if the I don't know how it's going to turn out. And then after I do that, I'm going to paint the inside cover with methyl cellulose, but diluted methyl cellulose. So let's get this so that I can flip it over. And I'm going to spray the back side the same as I did the front. do the same thing. Just gently try to get some of those bubbles out. We don't need those. And if you, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is taking out additional yellowing with the acidity. Alright, we're going to let that sit for about, oh, you know what, I'm going to let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then all the soap will have soaked in, and then I'm going to do it again, and then we'll go from there. So, be back in about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, I'm back. It's been a little over 20 minutes, and we're going to spray this down again with some soap. And then we're going to just pull it right off. I'm not too worried about how much comes off of it, although it looks like quite a bit of acid is coming out of it, which is a good thing. You need to get as much of that acid out as possible. I'm going to flip it over. Now, you're not going to see me rinse it because I'm going to do that in my kitchen over the sink. Yeah, getting a lot of acid out of this. And you're not going to see me soak it in the calcium hydroxide, because again, I do that over in the kitchen, and I don't feel like holding my phone while I do it. And you've seen me do it before with a couple other videos. So. We're going to take it over. We're going to do that. Then I have to decide if I'm going to let it dry after I do the calcium hydroxide bath, or if I'm just going to go ahead and try to do the fill with the, yeah. You know what, I'm probably just going to, after the calcium hydroxide bath, I think I'm just going to bring it over here. I'll squeegee it out, and then we'll go ahead and put it in my press. Press it for 2 or 3 hours without changing the paper towels, because like I said, it's only going to be 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll see about doing the fill. I don't know if I'm going to have a very good match as far as what the pulp looks like, but I'm just going to go with it, and if it's too far off, I'll redo it, and if it's even close, we're going to accept it. So, be back in a little bit. Well, for you it's going to be a couple of seconds. For me, it'll probably be about 4 or 5 hours, maybe a whole day. Be back. And it's been a little while. I need to try to get this straightened back out. It obviously, we had a little bit of trouble. I very carefully lift this and hope I don't rip it, and try to get these pieces back where they belong. And if I can't get them back where they belong, well, I'll just remove them and fill it with my, yeah. I really need to move that over, that whole thing. I need to shift the whole thing over if I can, slightly. I believe that's where it goes, just about like that. I think I lost a piece there. It's alright, we'll fill it. I don't, oh, there it is, it's on my finger. Get that back in place. Flip this back over if I can. Yeah. Got one more piece here that seems to have gotten taken out of the picture completely. We're just going to set that in there. I don't know if that's where it's supposed to go, but that's where it is now. And I think some of these pieces have flipped over. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I have a different piece of Kollecting here than the one I was using before, because I decided that one was, I just didn't want to put another wet piece on this. It's going to get wet in just a few seconds anyway, so yeah. Let's do something I didn't expect to do. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out. This is methylcellulose. It's a real dilute solution. And I was going to do this later, and I probably will. Just methylcellulose and water. And I'll be using this again in a few hours. Let me go get my squeegee, and I'm going to squeegee that off real quick. Then I'll flip it over and do it again. Back. Squeegee this off. And flip it over. I'm going to paint this side, and that's not right. No, we definitely don't have that right. I need to bring this section up or towards me just a little bit, if I can. You know what? I'm going to let it dry out a little bit first. I'm going to put it in the press, let it dry out a little bit first, and then I'll adjust them. And I might just let it dry all the way and then go from there. Alright, I'll have to get some paper towels put over it. You know the drill. Paper towels, my Teflon sheets. Flip it over, paper towels, Teflon sheets. You know how I do that. You've seen it on earlier videos. Hopefully you've been watching them. Then I'm going to stick it in my cold press for 2 or 3 hours and then take it out and see if I can adjust the position of the sheet. If I can, fine, I'll go ahead and do the fill. If I can't, then I'll let it finish drying and then I'll adjust the sheets. So I'll be right. No, I'll be back after it dries for a while. Maybe tomorrow. Be about 3 seconds for you. I decided to go ahead and show you me putting it on there anyway. This is just the one side. This is the second side. I already did the first side. And now into the press it goes. Let's take a look and see how it turned out as far as drying goes. See how the colors on it look. This is taking it all off at once. I did, before it was completely dry, I went ahead and moved this piece down a little bit. Get this back to where it belongs. And I've made a few preliminary swatches for the pulp that I want to use, and I'm not really happy with them. I don't like the way they've turned out. There's this one, that's the first one I did, and then I did this one, and it's a little bit lighter. And they just don't look right. I think I need to add a little tan to it, so I've done another one. Let me put this back on. And that's why I let it dry out, so that I could get a good sense of what the pulp was going to look like once I decide how I want it. And I'm going to flip it over. Hopefully I haven't messed it all up. Which I did. I absolutely messed it up. That's okay. And like I said, they're just not, they need more brown in them, or more tan in them. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit more. And because I'm going to be working more on that, I'm trying to get a better color match for the pulp. I am not going to do any fills today. I'm just going to leave it like it is. Put that back where it belongs, up here somewhere. Like I said, I'm going to leave it like it is until I get a closer match on the pulp. And once I get a closer match on the pulp, then I'll revisit this and try to get it back to where I want it to be. It just, yeah, I'm just not happy with how this turned out. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully the next video we'll be able to start doing fills. Or either that, or I'll show you half a dozen more pulps that I've worked on. I don't know. I have decided based on some of the comments that I received on my last video, that I will be doing a pulp fill in here instead of doing some sort of insert. In addition to that, I'm going to go ahead and print out a color copy of the cover. And once I have this all bagged and boarded, behind the bag, or behind the board inside of the bag, I will have a copy of the cover, so that I can see the whole thing the way it's supposed to be, but it won't be it'll be conserved and not restored. Because if I was going to do restoration, I would be doing much more cleaning on this. So that's going to be it for this video. Sorry I couldn't finish it for you. Sorry I couldn't get this all done. But I'm just not to that point. I'm just not to where I'm comfortable with doing the fills on this. And so we'll see you next time. In the meantime, have yourself a great week, and see you Wednesday night on my Coffee with Chaos video, or live stream. Got an interesting show planned for you. We're going to talk about a particular artist. See you then. Bye.